Hello and welcome to week 3 lecture. In this video, we will learn about Bloom's taxonomy and how to use it to create student learning objectives. Bloom's taxonomy was created in 1956 by educational psychologist Dr. Benjamin Bloom. He created the taxonomy to promote higher order thinking in education. These include analyzing and evaluating rather than just recalling facts or rote learning. Bloom's taxonomy is a multi-tiered model of classified thinking. It consists of 6 cognitive domains. The taxonomy is divided into 6 levels of learning, and we can associate action verbs with each of these levels. These 6 levels of learning and the associated verbs can be used to create learning objectives for your presentation. Let us take a look at the 6 levels in more details. Remembering involves recalling and retrieving relevant knowledge from long-term memory. Some verbs associated with this level might be arrange, identify, select, and describe. These are the verbs that you are going to start your learning objectives with. Understanding means to construct information from oral, written, and illustrated material. Verbs associated with this level might be explain, locate, review. I recommend that you search for Bloom's taxonomy action verbs for a complete list. Applying involves carrying out or using a technique or a set of rules. Some verbs associated with the application level might be use, solve, interpret, or show. The next level is analyzing. Analyzing deals with breaking materials into essential parts or determining how those parts connect to one another and fit in an overall structure. Let's think of some verbs associated with this level. These could be compare, predict, and demonstrate. The evaluating level encourages students to make judgment based on the knowledge that was presented to them. Some verbs that could be associated with this level are evaluate, revise, conclude, for example. Finally, creating, or putting the elements together to form an original and coherent thoughts or projects. Your student will reorganize elements into a new pattern or structure. They are creating something original. Some verbs associated with creating could be design, develop, rearrange. For example, like other taxonomies, Bloom's is ranked and begins with lower order thinking skills up to higher order thinking skills. Bloom suggests that learning at the higher level is dependent upon having attained the prerequisite knowledge and skills at lower levels. You cannot start with high level order thinking. Your student has to have the basic knowledge. You often see Bloom's taxonomy displayed as a pyramid graphic like the one you see here to just help demonstrate this hierarchy. So let's examine how the tiered nature of Bloom's taxonomy relates to the design of student learning objectives and how student will learn the material. So let's connect it together. We have just learned Bloom's classifies learning from lower order to higher order, and each category of learning builds upon the other. To further clarify this concept, it can be said that before you can understand the concept, you must remember it. To apply a concept, you must understand it. And in order to evaluate a concept, you must have analyzed it. And to create an accurate conclusion, you must have completed a detailed evaluation. As you introduce new concepts to students, you will need to understand, remember, and apply the concept to move forward to higher order thinking, such as analyzing, evaluating, and creating. So you start with the lower level, build the basic knowledge before you can move up to the higher order levels. So as you begin to think about the design of your presentation, you should first consider the complexity of your content or what you are presenting to your students, as well as the learning level of the instruction to determine where the majority of learning should fall. Introducing new skills or concepts have the majority of the learning objectives fall within the lower order thinking skills. Advanced knowledge, or if you are building on something that your students already know, then assume that your students come prepared with the foundation knowledge and they are now ready to use this knowledge to move on to higher order thinking. Here, your learning objectives will focus on higher order skills. Now, I'm not saying, and this is very important, I'm not saying that if you are teaching elementary grades, you will only accomplish lower domain, and if you are teaching higher grades, you will only accomplish the higher order domains. In fact, every lesson or presentation or instruction should have a variety of objectives from each domain. However, many of the objectives that fall within the lower or higher domains is often dependent upon the level of mastery that the student is expected to reach. Use the action verbs in the Bloom's wheel to create the learning objectives of your presentation. I want you to think about 3 things. Number 1, what is it that you want your student to be able to do? Second, I want you to think about how you will know that they understand what you have taught them. And then finally, I want you to ask yourself, what is the outcome or product that they will do or produce that demonstrates that they have mastered the skill or concept? I hope this is clear. This concludes the video. And if you have any questions, please post them on the Blackboard. See you.